as a painter, the farther away you look, the more you can see the water in the air. And so the landscape blends with the sky because the water in the air is the same as the water in the sky, which you may not think about unless you're painting. And that's where you put a little extra blue in your palette. It's gorgeous out here. One branch of the government likes my illustration skills, and another not so much. While vacationing in Kennebunkport with my family in July, I stayed in a little Airbnb with a big living room window that overlooked an enigma. Our view from the window centered on a house directly across the street that appeared to have no egress. It stood on pylons hovering over the water. The construction was handsomely appointed but oddly finished. My wife sternly encouraged me to bring my plein air painting kit and get back to my essence. After days of looking at the house, I was inspired to make it the subject of my painting. The cloudscape was my opportunity to lean on my illustration heritage and editorialize. Towering cumulus clouds at sunset. They just so happened to look like mushroom clouds. I started this painting in Maine and finished it in my Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania studio. I couldn't resist turning it into a retro travel poster. The funny thing about my last illustration job was that I created 9 stamps for the U.S. Postal Service. Where else can you have 90 million copies of your artwork produced? And I went to Los Angeles for the unveiling of the stamp, and John Glenn was the MC. And John Glenn asked me, he pulled me out of the audience, he told everybody my name, he asked me to stand up and take a bow, and then he took a picture of himself with me. And that was pretty big. I sent a JPEG of the finished work to my new buddy I met on the block in Cape Porpoise. He posted it on Facebook for a few hours before getting charged with harassment by the building's owner. The next day, I got a call from a detective in Kennebunkport.
Sorry to bother you. I just need to touch base. I don't know if you've spoken with anyone or are aware of what's going on up here, but...
I have an inkling, but I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest.
Yeah. So your painting has caused a little bit of a stir. What the fellow who owned the house thought was that it was a painting of his fish house on fire.
I do what I do, and if people like it, they can purchase it. I just want to ask, what fascist regime are you representing, where you call up the artist and say, "How dare you paint that?" I'm equally proud of both my government encounters. My dad worked for the government in the 1940s on the Manhattan Project in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Towering cumulus is in my DNA. The owners probably freaked out because of the quality of the work. The poster is so professionally executed, perhaps they felt someone had launched a legitimate ad campaign against them.
Artists can create art, and that's what they do. They create whatever that inspires them. Like I said, I'm sorry to get you involved, but...
I love it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow, will you get a load of that? All this brilliant stuff, I think you're onto something.